Yuk Satini, Gonalchish, Hadi Adi, Takat Johan. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for coming here. It's Tuesday, January 21st today, and our third class of the spring session. Today for class, we'll have discussion. Shirley and I like to hold question and answer or comments at the beginning of every class. So if you have language questions or comments, it's our time to get to know each other and talk. Um, I have questions for you guys about how the comic strip activity went. I had a couple people email me their finished comics and I want to share them. And then after our discussion, I also had a few people email me with requests for class names, as well as their indigenous names if they belong to other native nations. So thank you for that, Gunalchish. We will be working on those so that we can address each other using native names. And then if there's time at the end, we'd like to show a couple videos of the dance group Wushjiin performing the Kagwantan love song.
We do have for the fourth graders in North Carolina. Are they on?
Evelyn's muted, but they are here. They're the ones that asked about how do you say yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we might tell them about the Jone's booklet.
Oh, okay, good. Um, yeah, if you guys in the class in North Carolina, if you want an excellent resource with pictures to study the Tlingit language, please use the beginning Click It workbook. I'm going to put it in the chat so everyone has quick access to it. And let me know if you're able to download this. One moment. It's a large file. So while that's loading, do you guys see it in the chat yet? Not yet. Okay. I'm going to go ahead while that's loading and show you where you can download it a little faster. So I'll put clickitlanguage.com. This is your catch-all place to grab free resources. Most of them are available for purchase, but what I love about this website is that you can get it right now, right away to start studying. Some people prefer printed books, but for my teaching purposes and studying purposes, I prefer these downloadable resources. And to get there, again, go to clinkitlanguage.com. I'll put this in the chat. And then this is your tab right here, the resources tab. If you hover over resources, you can scroll down to beginning materials. And then the very first link is the beginning Tlingit workbook by René. And it's based on the book Beginning Tlingit by the Downhowers. So here it is. This is what it looks like. Tlingit René workbook for beginning to study Tlingit by René Lance Twitchell. To download it, just select this icon. The downward pointing arrow over the box is for download. And then you'll have access to it even when you're offline. Okay. So that's also in the chat. I see it went through as well. You can download it from the chat or from this website that I just took you to.
Yeah, on that clickitlanguage.com, you can also hear uh, Clickit speakers, just to hear how it sounds in a conversation. So
Yeah, that's an excellent point. if you want to become familiar with Tlingit sounds, if this is your very first time being exposed to the language, or you just want to practice the sounds, on this same website that like Shirley mentioned, if you scroll down to Tlingit Qainach Ach, this means hear it in Tlingit, and it's a digitized audio CD. My first time using it, we would just pop the CD in the boombox and read along like the CD booklet, and practice it together in our study group. But it's digitized here for you. You can select the audio files and it'll open up this Google folder so that you can select your audio recording. You can also open up the text by clicking the first link, text. And this is just a fun way to study Tlingit. I usually will just do one or two phrases or maybe one track. So like 5 or 6 phrases. Um, don't get overwhelmed. Think of it as more of like a reference for you. And if you're trying to drill these in, just do one or two, I would say. But this is the booklet, the CD covered booklet, and everything is organized by track and conversation style or topic. So, for example, if I'm looking at a basic phrase, what's this? I can see it, I can see how it's written, and then I can also take note of, see that it's in track 5, open up the audio, and go to disc 1, track 5. Maybe that's disc 2. Disc 2, track 5. And so I'll open this up and play it for you just so you can see how you hit play and then read along. So here we go.
What's this?
Da Shaya, Da Shaya,
What's that?
Da Shawe, Da Shawe,
I forgot.
Akat Hatsewa Kako, Akat Hatsewa Kako,
Please correct me.
Saya Hwasaik Den Han Kananik, Saya Hwasaik Den Han Kananik,
Is that right?
Yekwa, Yekwa,
So that's track 5. Just a disclaimer, a couple of these phrases have complex sounds that normally we don't teach you till later on in the course. So don't let those scare you away. If you're brand new to Tlingit, just focus on words like the first two lines, da saya, da sawe, things that are just vowels. Yeah. Any questions about those resources? All
For
right.
new students that are trying to write the language, just remember that we don't use any punctuation at all.
Yeah. So there are things in the Tlingit language that let us know, for example, whether what's being said is a question or a statement, and they'll show up as specific words in the sentence. And that's why we don't use punctuation when we write Tlingit. We just look for the question particles. I'll point them out to you guys when we study a question. Good. And so, um, while we're talking about the beginning Tlingit workbook, since I just put that in the chat to give you a brief overview, I just want to give you a little show of how it looks, kind of the feel for the book. Um, There are a lot of vocabulary words, and I recommend doing 4 at a time, maybe 4 per week. But I love these pages on vocab because they're such nice images. So you have an image of a sea lion, and then how it's written in Lingit Tan, and then the English translation smaller to the right, sea lion. I use these a lot in my lessons for vocab exercises, especially, and it's a great resource for beginners. Thank you, Shirley, for thinking of that. Okay, I'm gonna make this screen smaller and
If you have any questions about the booklet, make sure you just email us right away.
yes, please. Before we jump into discussion about the comics or the other demonstrations I have, can I just hear from you guys how that went for you? We were in breakout rooms, so I didn't get to hear from a lot of people. Don't be shy. I see a comment in the chat. I just sent my comic strip to you. It went good. I wasn't able to double check my work though, so it may or may not be correct. Good, that's a perfect place to start. While I pull up Ezra's, let me hear from the rest of you guys how it went, please.
I was driving when I zoomed in, so I couldn't contribute a whole bunch because I didn't have anything right in front of me.
That's okay.
For those of us who weren't there last week, can you let us know a little bit what the assignment was?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I'll pull it up and show you guys. So basically, in this class, we decided our vision board is to make a newspaper together, all in Tlingit. We have a bunch of ideas for articles, sections that need to be included. We have like some reporters and photographers here in the class, so we'll be divvying up different roles. But our first exercise was just to caption a comic. So I'll give you like an idea of something we did. Um, I took a Blondie and Dagwood comic and I put them on our slides and put conversation bubbles so that we could edit it and put what we want to say. We have work to do on our humor or like making the most of the comic, but what I like about what we've done so far is our just practice of seeing a conversation bubble, thinking of something to say, and then we pulled from the phrase book phrases that might be appropriate for the image. And for example, in this first one, Dagwood is holding a huge sandwich, and Blondie's asking him, "Iitke ya nuwaha? Are you hungry?" And he says, "Achideya ya nahin. I'm starting to get hungry." And then in our next one, he's just looking at the sandwich and he's like, "Hlitza, it smells good." And that's as far as we got. There's still 2 more conversation bubbles to fill out. Now he's sitting on the couch, kind of slouching, looking at his newspaper, and Blondie says something to him. We don't know what. Um, but Shirley, did you want to share your ideas on how to make this exercise a little more fun and easier for us?
Yeah, I think I suggested at in the breakout room that first think of it what you would say in English. That even some sarcasm will work. Like Are you sure that's big enough, or uh, some kind of remark about how the size of the sandwich? So then in the next bubble, you might say, have him looking at the sandwich. He's thinking, maybe I should add 2 more pieces of bread with peanut butter or something. And then he's relaxed in the last one. He
Yeah.
can say, I guess I need some rest after that, or something like that. So
Oh,
what you want to do is, if you, it's harder to think of it and take it. So first, you might do it in English. What you might say if you saw that same scene, and then work to translate it to click it.
good. Good. Cheese. Thank you. So I'm just typing in like maybe how we would start in English for any translation exercise. If we're starting from English and moving to Lingit, just put it in brackets. And we're lucky now because we have Shirley here, Shakhsani Keek here, and she can help us translate. So if you guys are translating as second language learners like myself, um, it's best to have a speaker like Shirley who can think of like what's the natural way to say that. Or you can work on it if you're intermediate or advanced and then review it with them after. But where we started is good too, just looking through a phrase book. I'll show you that for people that weren't here. This is the phrase book, Lingit Class, and it means say it in Tlingit. And it's the beauty of it is that it has phrases that already make sense because they came from birth speakers and they're organized by section, conversation type. We have chapters with everything from greetings and departures, commands, compliments, days and time references, feelings, cooking and eating and talking about food. And so we use this book a lot in this class. In this section, talking about food is where we got our ideas for our first run through on the comic. Are you hungry? I'm getting hungry, and things like that. So before we jump into editing the one we have a couple other that people shared. So I want to share those with you guys. Any questions or comments first? You can have fun. You can even edit the comic. In this case, Evelyn brought this comic. It's nice and simple. This was Shirley's other recommendation. Do something that's simple, maybe 1 or 2 images to make our work easier to begin with. And so, in the original comic, I think this young student was holding a piece of paper, but we edited it to fit what we want to say. So the adult asks the boy, Da sa'ichi wo, what do you have? And then he responds, Khat achji wo. And khat means, so what do you have? I have a fish. And then we change the image to a fish. Let's practice these. So this first phrase means, what do you have? Please repeat after me, starting with the last half of it. Repeat after me. Ichi wo. And then the good. And then the first 2 words, dasa. Ichi wo. And the whole question, dasa ichi wo. Good. That means, what do you have? And then he says, I have a fish. So I have, repeat after me. Ugh, gee,
Your voice goes up. Your voice goes up on sa. That's where the question mark is in the sentence, in a Lingit sentence. So don't let your voice go up on the end. W. So that's not correct.
Oh,
Dasa w.
okay.
Yeah,
Goodness, geesh.
yeah.
So what Shirley just mentioned, the tones in Tlingit vowels are important. So what she says, when your voice goes up, which is indicated by this tone mark, dasa, that's how we know we're being asked a question. And so we don't want to go up at the end as well on jiwo. So let's try again. Repeat after me. Dasa ijiwo.
Da
Jiwoo.
jiwoo.
How's that, Shirley?
That's good.
Okay, goodness, cheese. And then let's do for the response. Gaat jiwo. Oops.
Jiwoo.
Ach, jiwoo.
I'm having trouble with that first word.
Okay, the first word is gaat. It means fish, and this is an underlined X, which is pronounced in the back of your throat. If you're brand new to Tlingit, you can think of it as sort of like a snore, almost like a snoring sound or um
Like
yeah.
like a gargling sound.
What?
Good. Yep. Yeah. And then it's a repeat after me. Gaat.
What?
Yeah, it's a long high tone A. Mm-hmm. And then jiwo.
Ach, jiwoo.
Jiwoo.
So let's do it again.
So the
Ha. Uh-huh.
underline X's. Hot and ach.
Hot.
Gaat. Ach, jiwoo.
Gaat and have underlined X's. So they're that same sound in the back of your throat.
Hot.
Yeah.
Hot. Ach, jiwoo.
Yeah. And surely we don't go up at the end for jiwo, right?
Uh,
Okay. So
I
let's
just
practice
only on the hot. Hot.
only on the gaat. Okay, good. So let's do the first word. Repeat after me. Gaat,
hot.
jiwo.
Ach,
Ach,
jiwoo.
jiwoo.
Yeah. And then again, first word. Gaat,
Hot.
Gaat.
jiwo.
Ach,
Ach,
jiwoo.
jiwoo.
Good. The whole phrase. Gaat, jiwo.
Gaat. Ach,
Ach,
jiwoo.
jiwoo.
I have a fish. Did
I
that sound?
just thought another way we could have done it once we learn a little bit more. Since he was he was learning about fractions originally and turning in half of his homework. He could have turned in half a fish. Since we're learning about fractions, I have half a fish.
Yeah. We'll have to work our way up to talking about half a fish and Tlingit. That seems
Yeah,
like intermediate material.
that's ambitious.
Yeah. Shirley, how did we sound on that? Gaat jiwo.
Yeah, that sounded good.
Okay, good. Konachis. Um, any questions or comments on these? I like it. It's nice and simple. It's something that's achievable for us. Uh, this one's fun. Someone who is more intermediate filled out a lot of conversation bubbles. I only changed a couple things that where we needed underlines. That's why you see multiple bubbles where I edited it. But somebody is asked, there's a little girl laying on the floor or a small child laying on the floor drawing, and then someone in the other room says, "Chet kaudu wasai, I'm hot." And the child says, Wasaki Anuk, what's up? And then appears this unicorn covered in jeans. And it says, Kwashichte. And the child responds, Gude saya nishich. So I gotta run. And then the child says, Where are you running? And the unicorn says, "Chadye dachane, I'm working on fish." And the child says, Ach tuwu atwudekin, my spirits are soaring. Pretty good. Can we get a round of applause for this one?
Yeah.
Good job. Lots of creativity in the room. And then let's look at Ezra's. Make sure I'm caught up on the chat. Yep, this is a super fun activity. And I'm going to open up our other contribution right here. So let's zoom in. This is a Calvin and Hobbes comic, which Calvin and Hobbes was always my favorite comic growing up. I remember when they discontinued it in the Sunday paper. I was so sad. But then they released all those books, so it was cool. Um, Ezra, are you here? Do you want to talk about your comic before we all read it together? I see you're unmuted, but I can't hear you. Do you have audio? I don't hear you, but I'm gonna.
Hello.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, now I can hear you.
So I named it Weshahaya Diesi because I was learning my group was learning Duyakan Naguri recently, and I was trying to translate it so we can have a better understanding of it. And I asked Paul Marx Kinkowdenique what it meant, and he said it was like a old way of like teasing children who are acting out because they were just wild or something, and he just called them Shaheya Diasi. And so that's what this comic's about. It's about a child just acting all crazy, asking his mom. He goes, "Ach, kli, das out, chadu waka," hey mom, what does this say? And then she's like busy doing something, so she's like, I can't tell you right now. And then he goes, Wanach away. Heshe took the tension. Why? I can't stop thinking about it. And then she just goes, Ishan, Chuk. Just pitiful, poor thing. Go away now. And then he's like he just can't let go of it. He's just like, Ach kli. He's like, Mom, I don't know what this says. I really want to know what this says, basically. And then she's like, Shkahe or Shkahadi Yanha Gudachoyanesti. I'm going crazy because of you. Too said, I need your help. I want you to read it to me. And then that's where she ends with You're just a crazy child, you are.
Wow. Can we get a round of applause?
Yeah. Great.
Good job. You're very good at Lingit. How long have you been learning?
Jeez. So I spent a year like taking it really serious, and I spent a year learning from a couple elders at from some advanced speakers that I got pretty close with. But
Ex
I've been learning for like a couple years now, I want to say.
Excellent. Can I ask, yeah, Who are your teachers and elders that teach you?
Um, I learned from so the first person who actually started teaching me like the more complexities of Tlingit was Jeff Lear. He's a close family friend of ours, and he also learned Tlingit from my great grandma from my maternal side, and uh, and then I was working with him at SHI for a bit, and then I met Will Chuffy. Um, I met him too, and he learned Tlingit from my great grandma from my paternal side. So, and then I went and worked at a DIA, and I learned from Fred White and Paul Marks and Joseph Marks, and they were teaching me everything or a lot that I know today. And then, yeah, so that's just who I've been learning from.
Wow, you're so lucky. You have such a powerhouse team of people teaching you, mentors and teachers, elders. That's so great.
That's wonderful. Like, I know Jeff Lear, Dr. Lear.
That's sheesh.
If if I can say something about the Ticket Renachsa,
Yeah.
the booklet that she mentioned is a book that we use a lot, but you have to be aware when we turn to it, the conversations is regular conversation like what do you eat? Are you hungry? It's just a regular comment. Earlier in that particular book, they have a list of words that are kind of fun to use, comments that you can inject into any of those phrases that you come across, surprise comments or comments like that doesn't appear in those pages that we're referring to. So if you go over that list, it's quite, I think it's like 2 pages long, and it's comments like how, that's a comment of surprise, how when you hear that in the movies, it means something different. But for us, it means surprise. Wow, I didn't know that. Um, Comments like gook or chook or gook is hurry up, chook is go away. And you use that chook, be careful to use it with animals or small children. So that's it's not a written or spoken rule, but it seems to come out that way. And there's ha eh. That's part of the list. Ha eh means you're too much. Things like that. I can't remember all of them, but it's kind of a fun list to go over and say, oh, hey, I remember something from that list and start using it. So, so just be aware that the phrases that are in there about sickness or health or cooking or eating or anything is just regular conversation. So if you try to use it for the comics, it'll give you a basic one that says, if you see the phrase, are you hungry? So you could say, are you that hungry? Are you, can you eat all that? You know, kind of a question mark. So just check with us and see if you inject any of those phrases like that from that list, uh, and how to use it. Usually we go over it, all the whole 2 pages to get the meaning. There was one that says it's only a D-O-O with a tone mark at the very end. Do. It means that's what you get. Do. Yeah, things like that. So I think there are some pretty fun phrases there to look at, to start using if you're struggling with a comic strip, to start using some of those phrases from that. Make use of the book. Look at it when without our assignment, and see what you can get out of it. Because we kind of restrict ourselves to like a page because we don't want to put too much for you to handle. So, okay, go sheesh.
وقت قناتشيش.
I'm just seeing that more could be used in the Dagwood sandwich, like he wants more.
Oh yeah. Where are you seeing that?
It's on the page that you're sharing. It says, I think it's Shook, but I can't see it now. Oh yeah, TSOOK question mark.
Oh
Took
yeah.
Who?
Took.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he wants more.
You want more?
And then maybe that surprise word, is it how? How?
How? How? Low voice, how?
How?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, I'm gonna add these in. Shirley, would we say those together like how? Tsukgei tawasugu.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, do you want more? Good eye, Evelyn. And then maybe he'll say, maybe I should add 2 more pieces of bread.
Yeah, he takes it not as a sarcasm, but as a suggestion. So he
Yeah.
I didn't think, oh yeah, I think I do need more.
Yeah.
Thanks, that's a good idea. Gunoshish.
Yeah, that's one.
Good. I'll have to think on how to say that in Tlingit. But we're getting there. This is fun. We're adding some humor and our interjections that Shirley mentioned. When we make dialogues in this class, Shirley will often include the phrases that she mentioned on the first couple of pages, these kind of exclamations, or I think they're called interjections, just things that add surprise or kind of show your emotion, sounds you make before just stating the sentence that you're going for. And so you guys will get to see how that process unfolds as we make dialogues in this class as well. But yeah, for reference, I put the resource she's talking, Lingit Class, in the chat as well. And please do look through them. And note that if you download it, you can open this little bookmark section on the right-hand side that I'm showing. If you click it, you can toggle between all the different chapters quickly so you don't have to scroll through pages and pages. It just makes it a little easier. But the first phrases that she mentioned to make it sound more natural in conversation are here at Greetings and Departures. It's chapter 1. And then, like she mentioned, you can jump to the phrases you're going for based on topic and piece them together. But we're here for you for that process. So give it a try and ask us for help. Don't be shy.
Yeah, just have fun with it. Don't be self-conscious.
Yeah. Okay, we have about 12 minutes left. So before we go, I wanted to talk about some of our student names. And Shirley and I meet outside of class to work on people's nicknames if you request them. And before we get to that, Nikki, are you here?
Hey, yeah, I'm here.
So you guys, Nikki is Unangan and she has an Unangak name. So like we mentioned, if you're from another native nation that's not Tlingit, we encourage you to use your native name from your tribe. And then we'll use Tlingit spelling for ourselves so that we pronounce it correctly. But we won't change your name. We'll use your pronunciation. So can we hear from you how to say your native name?
Yeah, it's been a while. So if I remember correctly, it's Allahu,
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 Allahu.
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 Y-
So I would probably write Allahu.
And that's meaning ocean.
Ocean. Oh, cool. Let's do it on this one. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Goodness
Allah.
sheesh.
That's a good enough. Thank you as well. Allahu. And then Chloe, we talked about your name. Are you here? Yeah. Chloe emailed us requesting a name related to frog or maybe small frog. And so the word frog in Tlingit is hicht. To make it small, you add a pinched K at the end. So you say hicht, and then you add the k sound, the pinched K at the end. So for people who are starting to learn to read Tlingit, if you see an apostrophe after a letter in Tlingit, it lets you know to pinch it. In other words, you make it kind of sharper and snappier sounding. And
Yeah, you click on it.
click on it, yeah. So let's practice. Let's let's practice this word. Repeat after me. Good. So I'm over enunciating so that everyone can hear me saying it. So I'll sound super slow. But please repeat after me. What's that?
Howdy.
Yeah. So the X is kind of like it's not underlined, so it's pronounced in the top of your mouth. Almost like if you're hearing like a cat hissing or the wind blowing, it's that type of sound. Yeah. And then you add a pinched CH, so you're pinching it. So this first part without the K, Good. And then add the pinched K at the end. Yeah. So the whole word, do your best for now. Yeah.
Not an easy name. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Um, I think it's a cool name. Shirley, how did we sound when we said it?
Yeah. Just a reminder, it's a plain X at the beginning, an I, and a CH pinched, and then we add the K pinched. So it is kind of difficult because you have to snap on both letters.
Mhm. Good. Any questions or comments? Like Shirley mentioned, it's a complex pronunciation if Lingit is new to you, but it gets easier over time. So if you're looking at it like, that's kind of hard, don't worry. Just set a goal of maybe by March, I'll be able to say it pretty good. Nothing you learn in this class has to be mastered on the first day. But I think it's a really cool name and a cute name, Little
Many
Frog.
thanks. Many thanks for helping me.
Ah. And you plan to visit Juneau for your studies, is that correct?
I already came before COVID, and uh, I worked with James Crippen in Vancouver, and I also worked with Lance Twitchell, with Renee Little, and with Michael Krause in Fairbanks.
Wow. Awesome mentors.
Yeah.
By the way, a frog is a symbol for the raven clan from Sitka.
Okay.
Yeah, the kicks Adi. Okay. If folks still want nicknames and you've not yet emailed me, I'll put my email in the chat and just send us like things you like, hobbies. If you have a pet name in your family in English and you want that translated, we can interpret for you. So please don't be shy. And thank you, Kajis Aktla, for mentioning also the Ishka Hitan have the frog as their crest.
But
Any
it's
other? Uh-huh.
raven. It's still a raven sound.
Yeah, away. Raven. Raven clan. Okay. We only have a few minutes left. So we won't get to lyrics yet. But surely should I show the video of Wushjiin singing the Kagwantan love song?
Still have the Aleut name to spell.
Oh, let's do that. Okay. So let me go back. So I wrote it, it's pronounced Alahuch. How would you write that, Shirley?
It would be a single A and L. I think we'll use the English L for that one. And a double A and then a plain X with two W's. And it sounds like a positive word, so you end with a tone mark on the double O.
Okay. So A, L, double A, X, high tone double O, X.
No,
Ala.
I don't think there's an X on the end. Did you hear that, or I didn't hear one?
I heard one, and she spells it with an X in the unanguk, but Nikki, can we hear you say it again one more time?
Yeah, Allahu.
Maybe I don't hear one. Allahu.
Oh, change the tone mark to the double A.
Okay.
I hear that she put it on the double A.
Okay. Allahu. Nikki, does this sound right? Allahu.
Yes, that sounds right.
That sounds more like her.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, goodness, sheesh. Let me screenshot that super quick if I can.
Of course. Go
Okay,
for it.
got it. Thank you.
That's just how we'll spell it in Tlingit, so we remember to say it, but we're not changing your name, or we don't want you to change the way you say it.
Sounds good.
Good. Well, maybe we'll do the Kagwantan love song next class on Thursday. Thank you guys for your hard work. Any comments or questions before you go? Shirley, did you have any comments?
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to get into selecting what they want to do with the newspaper, what they do want to kind of job they want on the newspaper. So they can select somebody, each other, probably on Thursday. So we'll try to work on those two things.
Okay. Yeah, Kwati.
And we'll have all of you introduce yourself and get your Tlingit name so we can start using it. See how good our memory is.
Yeah. Yeah, Kwati. Shuhan, have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll see you here on Thursday, same time.
Good night, Chief.
Okay.
Good night, Chief.